Welcome to Unleashed by Yourgi, trusted advice, real support, and everything you need to give your pet their best life. I'm your host, Elizabeth Morais, and in each episode, we bring you expert insights, tips, and real-world advice to help you and your pet thrive together. Today, we're talking about something every pet care brand should be thinking about: how to go beyond the sale and build a real relationship. In this episode, we'll explore what it takes to shift from selling services to truly supporting pet families through personalization, lifecycle insights, and strong brand storytelling. And joining me today is Bethany Wallace, a brilliant strategist whose work in CRM, influencer marketing, and brand experience has helped brands build trusts that last. She understands how to turn one-time transactions into lifelong loyalty, and she's here to show us how. Welcome, Bethany. I'm so excited that you're able to be here and have this conversation with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let's get into the first question that I have for you. What is the difference between a brand that sells services and one that supports pet families? And why does that distinction matter?
So when it comes to pets, just selling a service is not going to succeed. People look at their pets and they're part of the family. So I know before my husband and I had our son, we had our first fur baby, and she was my baby. And I wouldn't trust her with just anyone. I mean, you're not just going out and buying a vacuum cleaner. You're buying a service. You are handing your child over to someone. So building the trust factor is huge, being just genuine and providing the value that someone needs just to entrust you with their pet.
Right.
Their family member.
Wonderful. True. Do you have any stories around that? I'd love to hear that.
Definitely. So I was at one of our local pet centers here in Dallas not too long ago, and I went into the general manager's office because I was wanting a tour of the facility. And she said, "Sorry, I'm busy right now. I can't." And she had this little dog in there who was being boarded, and he hadn't eaten in like 3 or 4 days. And she had gone out and bought all kinds of different treats until she found one that this little guy would eat. And she was just sitting there in her office with him, hand feeding him. And it was like the cutest thing ever.
That's so
and,
sweet.
I'm thinking as a pet parent, I would trust you with my dog for sure. I mean, she went out of her way to make sure that she found food that he liked, and she was just one-on-one with him, making him feel safe and getting him to eat again.
So true. Yeah, they can be picky, especially when they're scared or not in a place that they're comfortable with.
Definitely.
And then to take that time to really find something that works for him.
Mm-hmm.
Is so
Precious.
important. Oh, that is wonderful. That's a great story. I'm sure you have so many different stories to share around that.
Yeah.
So definitely. Well, how, in terms of brands, how can brands use data or life cycle insights to better connect with their pet parents at the right moments emotionally and proactively?
So that's a great question. If you think of a pet, I mean, think of a life cycle like a baby, toddler, teenager,
Right.
Adult. So they need different care at different stages of their life. So when they're younger, they need specific food, specific vet care, training. And then as they're older, they need socialization. So then you can take them to daycare, getting them groomed depending on what season it is to, keep them happy and healthy. So using the data insights from not only the pet's perspective, but the adult perspective as well. So if you notice that they're
The adult animal or the
owner.
Oh, okay.
So if they take trips around the holidays, let them know that there's still some openings at kennels if they need to be boarded over the holidays and that they fill up quickly. Notice, one of their pets recently may have passed away. Send them a condolences card. I mean, it's not, like I said before, it's a family member. So just not taking care of the pet, but also the owners makes a huge difference.
Definitely. And I know from a consumer's point of view in any business, if a company reaches out and it's not just transactional, that they do care, that they show that, hey, we just found out that your pet died, as an example, or hey, it's Snowball's birthday, things like that make a huge difference. It creates that brand loyalty, and they want to just keep coming back. They don't feel like they're just a number.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
And to your point about the different the different ages and all, right now we have a kitten, and a 13-year-old cat and dog.
Okay.
The difference is huge. And so having a resource that might reach out and say, hey, Serena might need this right now, these types of foods, or she might be clawing at things. And hey, Snowball might need to come into the vet more often because of X, Y, and Z, because she's so old,
Yeah,
so definitely. I love
being
that.
proactive keeps them healthier.
Exactly. So as a brand, you're giving more service and then also more loyalty, or create more loyalty.
Yeah, the value, the loyalty, just being caring about their family members.
Right. And you're brilliant at it. So you're welcome. All right. Now, you've worked in CRM and influencer marketing. How do personalization and advocacy intersect in building long-term brand loyalty? We kind of touched on that a bit, but if there's anything else that you'd like to add to.
Advocacy, I mean, just being genuine. I mean, if you're going to work with an influencer, make sure they actually love pets. Make sure they have pets.
They're not just pretty.
Make sure that they, just are authentic in themselves, and just get them being real, like out at a dog park, just playing things that everyone does, not, oh, I'm going to, act different because I'm on camera. I mean, it's just that building the trust through being authentic builds advocacy and loyalty.
So true. And what are some other elements that you look for in terms of influencers? The genuineness, the authenticity. Are you looking for certain types of pets that they interact? What are the ways that you look for those?
It really depends on what market you're going after. So, you can go after micro influencers if you're really trying to geo-target a specific group, a specific audience, or if you're wanting to do something nationwide, you want to go after those macro influencers who have a broader reach, but you're not necessarily sure where their followers are.
Okay. And for those that may not know, what is the difference between a micro influencer and a macro influencer?
So the micro influencers are just smaller. They're usually just starting. And
numbers, is there a certain numbers range?
It varies.
Okay.
But yeah, they're more geo-targeted, so you can assume that most of their audience is within a radius of like 100 miles or so of where they live. And then the macro influencers, they're going to be more expensive because they have a much higher following all over the country, and sometimes they can be all over the world.
And then you're thinking about that as well as a business owner in terms of return on investment.
Exactly.
If they are more expensive to pay, well, they're probably going to bring in a lot more too because of their followers.
Yes. Wonderful. Yep. And then if they're well known, people are more likely to share their content too.
So to make it go viral. Now, Bethany, can you share an example of a brand that's done a great job turning its services into more of an emotional experience for its customers?
Sure. So last year, we had to unfortunately put our Poo down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. She was 14 and a half years old. She had a great life. But our local vet did an amazing job. So they were there with us through the whole process. A couple of years before we had to put her down, they were, educating us on what we could do to make her, last couple of years better.
More comfortable.
So switching her food over, making sure she was getting plenty of water, and then the right medicine that we had to put her on. And then frequent blood tests to make sure, her levels were where they needed to be.
And the quality of life for both you and her.
Yes, for both. And then after we had to put her down, they sent us a card in the mail.
Oh,
and they even made a little heart with her footprints in it for me to take home.
Like a print?
Yeah.
Like on a piece
No,
of paper, or like
ceramic.
Oh my gosh.
It's out in my garden. So
it's so sweet.
So sweet.
What a great.
And they just did it and gave it to me. Yeah. And then
I'm going to get teary.
And then when we got a new puppy, they gave us treats in the mail.
Nice.
And sent her a first birthday card. So just knowing that, that we had recently had to put one down, but then, you have another bundle of joy that you get to love. So
I love that.
So now we have a little golden doodle, and her name is Ginger, and we love her to
Oh,
death.
that's beautiful. How when you say like mini, what is
So she's like 20 pounds.
I know I was gonna say that doesn't
Yeah.
seem too many.
Well, most
Compared-
of them are like double
compared.
that.
I
Yeah.
guess.
So she's very hyper, but she's still a puppy. So we want to put her through the training.
Oh wow.
And we take her to daycare at least twice a week to socialize with other dogs, so she doesn't bark at other dogs when we're out walking.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, it's so special that your vet knows how important those different parts of life are to you and how much our pets are part of our family and those different transitions, whether it's a loss or the celebration of new,
Right.
They know how important it is. It's not just, okay, we have a client or a patient here, we'll take care of them and bye-bye. It's
and they're actually even a little more expensive than other vets in the area, but because they genuinely care, it's doesn't matter. I mean, these are my babies. You're taking care of them. You're taking care of me.
So true.
Yep.
No, it's worth it. It's worth
Definitely.
it. And it's so important. So important. All right. Well, in closing, let me ask you one last question. What is your top advice for pet care brands that want to build real relationships, not just repeat purchases? Because often that's how businesses are. There's times we want the repeat customers, but how are they creating those real relationships?
Loyalty, being authentic, and just showing that you actually care, and that they aren't just a number. Builds that advocacy and that trust.
Definitely. Do you have any other stories that relate to that you can think of that have created the loyalty or you spoke about authenticity a number of times. What does that mean to you in terms of these companies, not just the influencers, but the brands themselves? What does that mean, or what does that look like if they're being authentic?
Yeah, so just owning up to mistakes. I mean, if you gave them the incorrect amount of food by mistake, if you overfed them a little bit or something like that, just, like, I'm sorry, I'm human, I make mistakes. But, just being honest goes
huge.
a really long way. And even if someone comes into your company, your building, just treat them with respect and understand no one's perfect. Everyone has bad days, and just try and look at it from their point of view and what they're going through. And so just how you can best help them at that moment.
Definitely. Well, with everything that we just spoke about, is there anything in closing that you'd like to share?
Just have fun. I mean, if you're in pet care, pets are amazing.
They
so,
are.
I mean, love them and just have fun with it.
That's so true. Both the pets and their owners have their own personalities.
Oh, yes.
So, Bethany, thank you so much for taking the time today and breaking all of that down so beautifully for us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And also, thank you for reminding us that the most successful brands aren't just selling a product, they're showing up for a community. And to all our listeners, when we treat pet care as a relationship, not just a service, we build something deeper, more trusted, and more enduring. To learn more about building that kind of bond, visit yourgipet.com. And for more conversations about supporting pets and the people who love them, be sure to follow the show, leave a review and a like, and share this episode with a brand builder or pet parent you know will appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel for future episodes.